Hi everyone, it's my great pleasure to introduce Mark, sorry, how do I pronounce your last name, Mark? Burgeoning? No, he's on mute.
Mute.
Yeah, Mark and Mona, who are going to talk about ethics in the digital environment and coaching. Mark is the director of the master's program at the University of Applied Science and Arts in northwestern Switzerland. And he describes himself as a reflective practitioner that works with leaders and organisations in addition to his director of this program. Mona is an academic that comes from Henley Business School. Her background is in artificial intelligence and IT and looking at the ethics of these things. So we've got two people who've got a wealth of experience. And they're going to ask and pose a whole bunch of different questions around what does it mean to be coaching in the digital environment and what are the ethics of that? So everything from using Zoom or using Outlook as a way of scheduling meetings, right through to artificial intelligence and chatbots as a way of actually coaching. So without any further ado, I would encourage you to engage fully with these guys because they're really interesting people with interesting ideas. And over to you, Mark. And Mona.
Thank you very much, Michael. And I loved how you resolved the spelling issue. It's correctly fine with me with that special, or I'd say, not very international friendly name I got. It's supposed to be a Swiss name, probably. But also, Wendy, thank you for all the work you put into actually make this conference happening. Also, yesterday we had wonderful exchange. I'm looking forward to today and welcome you, everybody, as participants today. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. And probably we start by digging into the topic that we would like to wrap our heads around today: digital coaching ethics. Yes, it's a messy situation we got there. What do I mean by that? We're not solely looking at a single problem that can be solved. Merely, we're looking at a system of many problems which are interacting with each other. And if I use the term problem, I don't like that. You can replace that with issue, with questions, with concerns, with questions. So probably for today, we would ask your support to partner with us to co-create probably solutions, but one which would be to co-create an awareness of which questions we should ask concerning this messy situation. And in my morning meditation, something came up to me, like 3 wishes I have for us all for today. So my best hope for the session of this morning would be that all of you make one new friend. Yes, you will have the opportunity to exchange in breakout sessions and to talk and chat. So at the end of the day, if you leave with one friend, a new friend probably, that would be wonderful. And a second one, if you would be open and share with us and challenge your own assumptions, that would be a wonderful result if you had that at the very end. And then the thing I already said is probably the co-creational part. When we prepared, we agreed that we will not bring the solutions to you, but more so try to raise the right questions, to ask you for help and support, to be part of the solution of this messy problem we are facing. And I just, for the start, would like to challenge with one statement. I strongly believe that all of us and everybody of you, we all are digital coaches. Probably a little bit of an introduction. Mike already did that for me. Aside of being a coaching professional, I see myself as a reflective professional. I run a master's program, and I would like to add, and I'm a father of 2 sons, 9 and 12. so part of the human family, the human tribe, together with you. And Mona, would you like to say a little bit more about you?
Yeah. So thanks, Mark. Thanks, Michael, for the introduction. As Michael said, I come from the industry where I spent about 20 years in IT services and an accounting firm. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. Within Henley Business School in academia, that's my second part of my my life. I am a lecturer in operations management. I do a lot of work with our diversity and inclusion committees. I am also part of the director of academic tutoring. So some of these reflective pieces and some of the work around ethical considerations, both in teaching, in the digital world, etc., that stems from my wider interest. And I've worked across the globe, and that's me.
Wonderful. And our co-host, we will magically making appear in a moment, is David Clutterbuck, and he's well known for early work in coaching ethics, and more recently known for his wonderful contributions towards team coaching. And he's one of the founding members of the EMCC. Probably that reminds you of who will speak to you right now. So I would like to introduce David Clutterbuck to you and having address all of us.
We can't hear Mark.
Wonderful. So I just quickly enable that.
Practitioners.
Is that better now?
Yeah.
We all like to think of ourselves as ethical practitioners. We've got a code of practice. We try and help our clients to reflect on the ethical complexities of the issues they bring to coaching. But the big challenge for ethics in coaching is not whether we adhere to a code. It's the things that aren't in the code. And one of the most significant of these is the evolving digital environment. Everything from emails and Zoom to virtual reality and artificial intelligence. In this overview of the current state of practice, we're going to highlight some of the big unknowns that are likely to raise ethical concerns, and indeed, in some cases, already are doing so. If there's one simple word that describes the evolving technological environment for coaching and mentoring, it's messy. The technology can be liberating at some levels. For example, coachbots can take away much of the grunt work and the low value creating routine. But at the same time, the technology can be harmful to us and to our clients. For example, by reinforcing biases and prejudices that undermine diversity and put people into boxes and disempower them. For example, in the rote use of automatically administered psychometrics. We're going to be meeting many new challenges in the near future that will require a much higher level of ethical sensitivity than we've been used to as coaches so far. The professional bodies, or some of them anyway, mention digital ethics in their codes of conduct. Mostly they're referring here to issues such as safekeeping of digital records and adhering to international data privacy legislation. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Take the issue of an artificial intelligence assistant monitoring the coaching conversation with a client. Sounds simple, but what analysis of vocal tone, body language, and so on is appropriate? What permission is needed from the client? What about storing this stuff? How much of this can you share with a supervisor? And who owns those recordings anyway? How do you feel, for example, about the potential for a coaching platform provider to use recordings of your coaching sessions as data to develop coaching robots that can replicate coaching conversations without you? How would your clients feel if they knew their sessions were being data mined in this way? So welcome to the evolving, messy world of digital coaching ethics.
Yes, a bit of an overview. What we are, what we have planned to how to proceed from here is that we would like to introduce some concepts and or research interest. We would like to inform you about that, and then have the majority of time allocated to case studies, group work that we would like to offer you a case study, a piece to read, and with a couple of questions to reflect on, working groups, and bring back your insight, your questions, your thoughts on that, and have a sharing in the conclusion takeaway part. And then probably at the end, we'll see how much time we got left. I hope that we got some time to exchange and have a bit of a discussion around the topic. So Mona, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Since we're on the topic of ethics, and when David, Mark, and I started the journey, we discussed what is the best way of engaging with practitioners, with yourselves. How do we, have this ongoing discussion? How do we have this co-creation of knowledge? And we said, well, we have to be ethical. So we took the forms that we are collecting data, the case studies that we have created, the scenarios, and we are requesting that you participate in this co-creation with us today. We confirm that this has gone through the ethics committee here at Henley Business School. We will not be collecting any personal data, so it is the responses are anonymous. But if you are interested in the topic and if you are excited, we will leave our email IDs, etc., for you to further engage with us. But all the data will be anonymous. We will be treating it with confidence. We hope to use some of that reflection in our book chapter and then in future research, academic papers, etc. Okay. Mark, we can't hear you.
Would you like to continue for this part, Mona, or should I make an introduction?
No, I'll do that. So as a warm-up, we are requesting, and I will put the link in the chat box, okay, to everyone in the meeting. So if you just log on, and go to the chat area of the Zoom call, click on the link, and we have a few warm-up questions about who you are and what you do. So if we give everybody a couple of moments to click on the link and complete some basic questions. Again, as I said, it's anonymous. We're not collecting any personal data.
Mona, we have a question.
Yeah, I'm replying.
You got that.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We have 7 responses. That's brilliant. 9 responses. 10. That's brilliant, everybody. We've got 25 responses. That's really great. Mark, if we wait for a couple of more minutes so that everybody has a chance to complete them.
Lovely. Yes, that would be wonderful. That I think those responses are dropping in, and a couple of minutes will serve. Yes.
Yeah, 37 responses. So we're doing really, really great. Thank you, everybody.
A question from Eve. Eve, there is a possibility to answer that in the summoned with coach education. We put supervisors in that category.
Super, 49. You're doing great.
What do you think, Mona? One more minute?
Yeah, one more minute, because we want to spend some time with our case studies. But the link is going to be live, Mark, so it doesn't matter if somebody wants to spend a little bit more time reflecting and putting, the link will stay live.
Wonderful. So you could then continue to give feedback to fill in the form, and we continue here, and that will be done simultaneously. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. A little bit about what are we talking about? If we are talking about certain concepts and come together from different disciplines and backgrounds and experience and have different assumption what it all means, probably it helps to lay a foundation with a little bit of a definition. And I promise it won't be long. It is one sentence that I will divide into 4 definitions, and then probably we have a foundation with that. What do we understand by the term digital coaching ethics, which, by the way, we phrased as DICE. So please come with me and let's rule the dice. Digital coaching ethics is, to our understanding, ethical considerations for the coaching of clients in a digital environment. That's our definition. So what is ethics then to us? To us, it's a moral framework for decision-making within a context. And what does it serve? You as practitioners? It would be attention to ethics enables the coach to be authentic, confident, and professional when faced with complexity. It's again our own definition. And in coaching, we borrow the definition from the International Coaching Federation, which is coaching is partnering with clients in thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. So what then is a client? A client is the individual, team, or group, depending on what you coach, how you coach, in what format, being coached. The coach being mentored or supervised, that's where the question of Eve comes in, the supervisor addressed, or the coach or the student coaching being trained. So we are addressing coach education there. And as promised, I keep it brief. One more thing we should probably talk about is what is the digital environment? So to our understanding, it is a context of digital services, products, communication, and data processing in the private, professional, and public domain, including exposure to, use of, and impact by digital technical means for individuals, organizations, governments, and society. That's again our own definition. To give you some examples what we mean by that. We mean electronic devices, hardware, software, electronic data storage. We mean that you use a computer to access Zoom, as you do right now. We mean the recording being taken and stored somewhere by Zoom. We mean email, electronic agenda, appointment scheduling, office apps, and website. If you promote yourself with your business on a website, that's what we mean. If you use email and, make appointments with your clients electronically and store probably their addresses, we mean that. We mean video conferencing, online collaboration, digital recording, and speech to text. Speech to text is when your coaching session that you recorded is transferred to text by a machine, by a software. Digital coaching platforms, electronic contracting, electronic billing services, they come together probably. If you're, freelancing and charged by a digital platform, they will send you an electronic contract. You sign electronically. Then the billing services are outsourced to a company and you deal with them. That's what we mean. And intelligent software support, sensors, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and augmented reality. These are some examples. If you have a smartphone, probably that's listening to what's going on right now. And sensors, the camera, taking my image and transferring to you, that's a sort of a sensor, and we will have more sophisticated versions of that. And we had a discussion yesterday in one of the groups saying, what we are doing here, having a video call, is that reality or is that already a virtual reality? Because I cannot smell you. I can only see a two-dimensional picture of yours. You see, that's all examples what we mean by the digital environment. And there are many more. So at this point in the conversation, I would just like to link back to the very questionnaire and just as a quick input for reflection, ask everybody of you who answered the one question, no, I'm not using any digital means for my coaching. So if none of you had crossed this option, we'll see. I'd argue that all of us are digital coaches. If we do not identify as digital coaches, I'm okay with that. Then at least probably we should have the discussion saying that we all are coaching in the digital environment. Probably that would be a foundation to have the discussion on. I try to be very brief about the research process. How do we address this issue, Mona, David, and I? So the interest of research is, what is digital coaching ethics? And how can DICE be supported? So how can coaching practitioners be supported in this environment? We started a literature review in the English-German world and the German-speaking world of the literature. And I got to say, there's no much. For some search strings as digital coaching ethics, there were no results in certain search forms. So we entered two more search things, coaching ethics, because we thought probably coaching is taking care of these questions we are about to discuss, or digital ethics, that IT and information systems disciplines are taking care of these questions. This is ongoing. We'll write it up until summer. And then we started inquiring with the professional bodies. So in the international English-speaking world, we addressed 3 of the main bodies, ICF, EMCC, and AC. And in the German, Austria, and Switzerland area, we addressed 15 professional bodies. And we are in contact with them, having a discussion. And also there is a very new field that we address. And we have an inquiry with practitioners. That's what we do today in conferences and interviews. And we come up with case studies addressing DICE issues and deriving reflective questions. That what we want to invite you just after this slide to get engaged with the cases and have a discussion. So the ultimate goal, probably two things: that we could start a DICE focus group to support coaching practitioners with these issues. And the very concrete one that's forming right now is the publication in what Wendy Ann referred to at the beginning, the edited book that's being written right now until summer. So we write it all up there, and you contribute that. It's co-authoring, it's co-creating. So also your contributions from today will be of great value for that journey. So Mona, please, over to you.
Thank you. So for the case study scenarios, you will be randomly assigned to a breakout room. Each breakout room has a specific case study number assigned. I will put in the chat links for individual case studies. So if you're assigned to case study 2, click on case study 2 Padlet link. It will open the Padlet session wherein you will have a case study material that you read, and there will be 2 or 3 reflective questions that will be assigned to each case study. Each of the Padlet sessions, you are enabled to enter your comments, your feedback, your reflection on Padlet. So please engage with the tool. And what we want from each group is please assign a speaker depending on how much time we have. When we come back, we will request for some feedback. And as part of your reflection, if you can bring back one issue that you think needs further exploration, one insight from the reflective session, and one idea that you have for the collaboration, so that we can, we can bring this together. The tool will automatically assign you to a breakout session. If you're busy and you can't go, that's fine. But the tool will do the actual sessions. And I am now going to send the links on the chat. So I have just assigned all the links, case study 1 through to 8. It is nearly to the hour, almost 9 o'clock here in England. If we take 20 minutes for the session, and then I will bring everybody back to the main room at the end of 20 minutes. So I'm opening the sessions. Just read the case study number on your session, click on the relevant link. Please use the chat functionality, the comment functionality within Padlet to input your issues, insights, any ideas for collaboration, any reflective feedback, etc. for us. So 20 minutes, and I am opening the rooms now. Do I have any questions before I open the rooms? No? Okay, here we go.
With answers many more times, with more questions and concerns. And thank you all for doing this work. Mona, should we have a little bit of sharing what the groups bring back from what they discussed? And would you like to take over?
Yeah, thank you. So we have about 9 minutes before we finish the session. If we can request 1 minute per case study room to just discuss what was the main idea, main issue, main reflection. And then if time permitting, I can share the summary of the form that we completed when we started. So over to case study 1 group, please.
Mona, could you please name someone of the group? Sometimes it's not obvious which group one is in.
1 second. So case study 1 had David, Lane, Gail, Michael, Rajwant, Roger, Zoe.
Okay, we're group 8. We're going to go quick.
Okay,
now.
Perfect. Lovely.
Thank you.
We discussed it. Concerns what the algorithm or AI with a case study on super artificial intelligence coaching, AI robotics, and the question, who or what is the client contracting with? And we said both the human coach and the machine coach, the AI, and who owns access to the data. We discussed that, and really we got to the point of whoever programs the machine, to the extent that the machine can learn from them, that's how far it can go. But we are moving towards a time possibly where machines can learn and be smarter than humans. And we've got to be ready for that as human coaches in the digital coaching age.
Thank you, Dumi. Anybody else? Any case study group? Just shout out, please.
We'll go in reverse order then. Number 7.
Yeah.
Number 7, we found the case study quite confronting with regard to quite a lot of unethical issues that could be discussed there. But in time, we just looked at the questions. We came up with, looking at it, who actually owns the data, who owns the AI, if that data is being used, who gives the permission. So we ended up thinking it's not just a tri-party agreement, it could be a 6-party agreement, depending upon what's going on there. It might be different AI organizations as well involved, the coaches, the coaches, the coach, the supervisor. We could have 3 AIs in there. What are legal requirements and privacy within the data protection, how parties are involved, that we've just said that, sorry, and beyond the control. I mean, this AI system, the way that it's been described, it seems to be beyond the control of the coach and the supervisor, is how that data is being managed and used. And I think the last question we came to was, could the client ever give completely informed consent to the use of that information?
Thank you, Eileen. Case study 6, 5, anybody?
I can jump in for case study number 3.
Yeah.
It was a case study about using a record for different things. And the main problem, the coach assumed that the client will be okay with the recording, but he didn't ask. And from the perspective of the Independent Review Board of ICF, we are working with breaches and complaints. It would be a very interesting case to handle this. Our answers had been very quick and easy because I put it in the chat. You can find all the different things at standard 7 of ICF. And there is all the handling with data recording, papers, and so on. And we've just finished a review 2 weeks ago, but it's not online. It's coming in the next weeks.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the group.
Thank you.
Okay, I can go for case study group 2.
Yeah.
Our case study was about someone putting up lots of company logos and lots of testimonials with full names and claiming that they were the indisputable #1 coach in the universe. So we did have a bit of a chuckle. Our issue for further exploration was around which laws do you follow from which country? If you're working internationally, is it your own country? Is it the country of the client? Is it the country of the company? If you're working for a company. We had quite a few insights, but it was all around company information. So how long is a company a client? How many years after you've stopped working with them can you still claim them? But also that it actually can be two-way beneficial for the company to say, yes, we have coaching, we offer coaching to our staff. That can be beneficial for them as well. But also, how do you know that a testimonial is even true? And I think that's why some people put full names, because it makes them seem more real.
Yeah.
And then an idea for collaboration, that was quite tricky to come up with, but essentially it was around how do we cover ethics in training? So all the coaching schools out there, how do we cover ethics and how do we keep the ethics conversation alive throughout the training rather than making it like a single session? That was a quick run through. Done.
Thank you, Vicky. We have a couple more case study groups.
Well, there's nobody from my group, so I'll go. This is case study group 1, and it was about if you're using certain applications, are you a digital coach, and what are some things that you should be reflecting on? And we had, as you would expect in a group of coaches, very different views and perspectives on that, and that's the richness of this conference for me. So for some of us, and for me, I'll speak for myself, I did think that they were a digital coach because of the way they were running their business and so on and so forth. And the point was made that that doesn't necessarily make you a digital coach because the same privacy data requirements and so on can apply to a plumber. But I sort of argued that I think there is a different relationship and the sort of trail that you leave by using some of those that make sort of the responsibilities different. And sort of Michael was also in the group, and David Lane, sort of the point was that actually some of those ethical requirements may be if you're doing the sessions face-to-face and so on. So we didn't come to a conclusion, but it was a really, really fascinating conversation and left the session with lots and lots of questions.
Thank you, Rutwan. That was the idea, was to get that conversation going. We are not expecting, as we said, we didn't come with any answers. We came with questions and scenarios to discuss. Thank you. We have a couple of minutes before we close, and Wendy kicks us out of the session. So if we have no other comments, Mark, do you want to close the session?
Yes, probably two more things before we leave. So one thing is the takeaway for you, just probably you can log on to Menti if you want so, but for you, as a takeaway, please reflect on the following. What was new, interesting, or challenging to me? How do I see myself in the digital environment? And most important, which issue from digital coaching will become important for me and I probably would like to take care of and investigate and see what is needed of me to support my clients in the best way possible. And you see the Menti Menti URL, and Mona, can you put that in?
Yeah, I put it on the chat already.
So that's something you can fill out afterwards when you say goodbye. For you, if you want to answer back to us, so what are you taking away from the session? Give us another feedback. That would be an opportunity. It's in the chat. So for us, it's to see. Thank you for your contributions, and please stay in contact. If you want to drive that further, have more of an exchange, have questions, have inputs, have concerns, please contact us directly. Either David, Mona, or I are very happy to stay in contact. And as I said, it's a complex, messy issue that we need many brains connected to each other to even have the same variety to tackle it. So no one firm can do that. We have to collaborate, and that's the invitation for you to stay in contact. Thank you very much, and see you in the network discussion just next, network discussion number 5 with Eve Turner, Michael Kamana, and I will be there as well. Mona, do you have some final words?
No, thank you. Thank you very much. And we look forward to your reflective feedback on Menti or the case studies. The Padlet links will be on for a bit. So if you want to go back and reflect on it, click on the link, see one of the other case studies, please do so. Thank you from David, Mark, and myself.
See you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.